I work at an automotive factory, and we run 3 shifts. We've got all different kinds of people from different backgrounds working at the plant, from the office people up front all the way down to the line workers. And we've got every race, color, creed, religion, orientation, political affiliation, age group from 18 on up to 71, I think. And I think we represent a diverse spectrum. And some people are transient. They come and they go. Other people have been there for years. So because we have people in and out, I get to be around a lot of different ethnicities. And one day, I can't remember what it was. I opened the door and held it open for a black guy coming into work so he can get to the time clock in. And he said, "Thanks, brother." Brother? Okay, sure. I mean, I'm about as white as they come, and I'm not offended by it. I was just like, "You're welcome." I didn't know what to say, right? Now, some people might say that he had no right to call me brother because I'm not black. I'm not sharing in the struggle, right? We don't know who our ancestors really are, so we're all brothers or whatever it's supposed to mean, right? I mean, the only time I've really called people brother, other than my biological brothers, are fellow veterans, not just Marines, but other branches, in particular Marines, though. And on occasion, some of my friends in the Second Amendment community or other friends that I've had over the course of my life. I don't really use the term very often, so I guess I don't use it in the black way. How do you even say this stuff, right? But one person might get offended. They might say, "Don't call me brother, I'm not black." Another person might look at that as a term of endearment, kind of like, "Wow, I'm accepted into the tribe." Oh, that was racist. Whatever. I don't know. Another person might be a social justice warrior. They're going to get offended for you or for the other person. They're going to get offended and say, "Well, I wasn't involved in any of it, but I witnessed it, and I'm offended because he called that white person by a normally black term." Okay. Or I'm offended because he shouldn't have called him that because he doesn't deserve it because he's white. I don't know. That's just it. Nowadays, you don't know. You don't know what you're allowed to say. You don't know what you're allowed to wear, what you're allowed to put as a bumper sticker on your vehicle, what you're allowed to post online. You don't know how you're supposed to feel. It's kind of like when you're in the office and there's a female in the room and she cracks a sexual joke and you're trying not to laugh even though it's funny, because if you do, there might be somebody around going, "Oh, he's a misogynist," or "That's harassment." I mean, what the fuck, people? You just don't know if you're coming or going these days. So I wasn't offended that he called me brother. I didn't feel anything other than a little confused, awkward, but I wasn't offended at all. And I noticed that YouTube won't let people type the word redneck in the title of a video or in the comment section on a live chat or any other. There's ways to do it, right? But if you use it like the term redneck, they're going to block it. I wonder if they've blocked hillbilly. Now here's the thing: if you want to call me redneck, if you want to call me hillbilly, whether you're joking or whether you're trying to insult me, I don't take offense to it. I just don't. I don't. It's just like, I guess, the first time a black person ever called me a cracker, I was confused because I'd never heard that term before. And I grew up in the South. And I was like, what? I had to go ask somebody, why is he, first thing I thought of was a box of saltines. I didn't know what he was talking about. And I laughed. I thought it was funny. I go, "That's the insult? I'm a cracker?" I'd heard honky for forever, right? And I'm like, okay. And then, a black guy at work actually Googled it. And I go, man, I'm glad you're looking it up because they track what we do on these computers. And he goes, I ain't afraid of that. So he looked up the word and he explained it come from Hungarian or something, bohonky or whatnot. But, but even he thought it was funny. It was funny, the term and all that. And there are people out there that can make jokes or can say things that are even semi-serious, and they're not trying to offend you. They're not trying to make you feel uncomfortable. They're not trying to make you feel awkward. They're just talking. And that's what this guy was doing. He probably calls most of the people in his community or some of his coworkers brother. So he just looked at me like another person. He didn't see color. He just said brother out of habit. And I'm not offended. I don't think somebody should be offended for me or for him. And if another black guy wants to call me brother, or I guess even a white guy or whatever, I'm good with it. I'm good with redneck. I'm good with hillbilly. I'm good with you toothless, inbred, rebel scum, I guess, whatever, right? So I just don't understand why people have to make such a big deal over something unless they're trying to push an agenda, unless they're trying to make themselves look like a better person than what they really are, like they're covering up. It's kind of like the person who is the manager at work and people's jobs are in their hands, and they decide to fire people not because there isn't enough work, not because these people are lazy or incompetent or stealing or doing any of the things, any violations that would get them fired. They simply fire a person or a couple people out of their department to fatten up their budget right before the quarter so they can get a bigger bonus. And then they take $1,000 out of that big fat bonus and they donate it to charity, and they run around to everybody and say, look at me, I donate money to charity. Yeah, but 2 people are out of work. You see how they covered up one thing with another? What they did was they threw some people under the bus to line their pockets, and then they just took a little bit out of that lining to virtue signal, I guess, right? So, you just never know with people. You just never know if what you say is going to be offensive. And if it is, it's really on them to be offended. It's on me when I get offended. And we shouldn't have to live in a world where we're afraid to express ourselves. We shouldn't have to live in a world where we wonder if we're allowed to say this or do that. Or we really need to get thicker skins. We really need to get over ourselves. And we really need to accept the fact that none of us are perfect. We all do things that somebody else would find vile, disgusting, offensive, unpatriotic, a douchebag move, whatever the hell you want to call it. Whether it's what we do in our regular life or it's something in our past. We've all done or said something, and we all will, that somebody else will not approve of. But if we truly live in a free society, black guys should be able to call me brother, and everything's good. Thanks for listening.
We would do anything to win together, brother.